also think that people are more likely to pay money for PE classes than group fitness classes because in the end they're receiving fitness goals from both sides, but they're also getting a credit from physical education classes. And also people consider PE classes an easy A class. So some operational definitions that we're working with we want you guys to know before we start is physical education, just break it down nice and simple, is just sports and exercise taught in school. And group exercise, or group X as we call it here at the university, is group fitness that caters to a wide range of interests, preferences, and physical abilities. So we collected all the research, obviously, and we put it into this graph here. This is for PE classes from across the United States. And you can see there's certain classes that almost every school that got back to us offers. The top ones were tennis, golf, yoga, and aqua exercise. And for our group fitness classes, the yoga here is our top class with 58 different schools offering at least one type of yoga. The other top ones were Zumba and Pilates. And from these graphs, we would like to point out, we'd also like to thank Jessica for this information. She helped us analyze the graphs. We'd like to point out that students tend to take classes that are pre-choreographed and organized, and they're structured, they have progression. Low equipment is preferred, so students often go towards body weight classes. So people can be scared of weights or just less likely to want to do something where they have to use a bar. And like I said, gradual progression is very appealing to them. They want to be able to use a benchmark and get better and see that they are doing something different than they were doing at the start of the class.
Okay, so as Eoin was mentioning, we did find that yoga was the most popular Group X class offered across the nation. And so from the research that we looked at, we decided that we wanted to go ahead and propose for our first class, which is going to be offered as a PE class, stand-up paddleboard yoga. And the reason why we chose this class is because yoga is obviously a standard exercise. It's offered at almost every single university, but it does add a twist to it that makes it different, more exciting, and it caters to the population that's interested in yoga, wants to take the yoga classes, and then also interested in people who like paddleboarding or want to try paddleboarding or more into the aquatic sports. So we contacted two different Pac-12 universities, the first being University of Arizona. Okay. And we talked to them about the stand-up paddleboard yoga class that they do already offer. And we asked them a series of questions regarding their population, budget, length of class, certification, and where they offer their class. And we found that at University of Arizona, they had a very successful trial period with their stand-up paddleboard yoga class, because when we interviewed them, we spoke with Dana Santoro, which is the assistant director for fitness, and she told us how they decided to implement this class was they had a test day. And so what they did was they offered like a sign-up sheet, and they had 48 spots available to those to try the class, and they ended up having a 15-person wait list. And so because that trial period was so successful, they decided to go ahead and buy 12 boards, and they are now going to offer it as a Group X class for the fall and spring term. We also spoke to University of Colorado Boulder, and we talked to Annie Tuck, who's the fitness coordinator over there. And she told us that she's actually been offering this class for 4 semesters now, and they also offer it as a Group X class 2 times a week. But the difference between their class and University of Arizona is that their boards are actually inflatable. And so they only have 6 boards, and so they do have to fill the boards with air before the class starts. And the issue with that is that because people are standing on the boards, there is loss of air, so they do have to refill the boards every 20 minutes of the class. So they do only have 3/4 filling for the class, but Annie spoke with us, and she believes that because the boards are inflatable, it makes the class a little bit more difficult to attend. So she would like to try to get some non-inflatable boards, and then she believes that the class participation would definitely go up. So to kind of talk about the budget here, we're just going to play a video just to show you what the board looks like, and there's going to be a lady doing yoga on it, if it works. But just to give you guys some background information, we spoke with Global Surf Industries, that Alex Papas is the representative for the Oregon area, and he actually contacted Jackie a couple weeks ago in terms of possibly University of Oregon purchasing some boards. And so we talked to him about what board is preferred and all that. So sorry the video didn't work, but this is the board that he suggested to us, which is the Project Y 11-foot board. And the reason why he suggested this one is because the bigger the board, the more stable it is. And also there is no weight limitation to it. So anyone can go on this board as opposed to the Project Y 10-foot one, which there is like a 160-pound weight limit. And so we wanted to go with the larger one that is going to be a little bit more expensive, but it wouldn't limit the student population to, not be able to attend, or we wouldn't have to put a weight requirement on the class or anything like that. So after talking to him, we spoke about the pricing for the boards, and he told us that it would be $750 for each board, and then the paddles would be $195 each. And so to go along with that pricing, we would need an instructor to obviously teach the class. And based off the conversations that we had with Arizona and Boulder and a couple other schools that do offer this class, there is no actual specific yoga certification for stand-up paddleboard yoga. So just a baseline regular yoga certification is completely fine to teach the class because there are no regulations or type of requirements through stand-up paddleboard yoga. So we could use someone that already has yoga certification. So that cost would really just be the instructor cost, which is $780 per credit class. So the total cost for all of this would be for the 16 boards, the 16 paddles, and the instructor. So that would be approximately $15,900 to implement this course. And then to go on to the implementation plan, how do we do this? Because we are proposing the class now, this is the summer term. The earliest this class could start would be in the spring term of 2017. We could begin looking for an instructor 2 to 3 months before the class would start. So as I mentioned, because there is no requirement for a specific stand-up paddleboard yoga teacher, we could use an instructor that is already here, that is already teaching yoga, or if University of Oregon wanted to go with someone that does have more experience with the specific paddleboard yoga, they could look for someone that has that experience. And then we would just suggest to order and purchase the material 1 term before the class starts, just to make sure that the equipment is working, there's no issues with it, and that the yoga instructor does know how to use the paddleboards. And we just want to emphasize that this class would be a progression class. We do have a syllabus that we wrote up that's in our portfolio, and it just explains that the first class would probably be, just learning about the paddleboard, getting on the paddleboard, learning how to not fall off the paddleboard, and then by the end of it, we would expect that the class would be able to go through a whole flow. So the real only requirement that we would have for this class is that they do need to know how to swim, because there is, a likely chance that you will fall off at some point during this class. So that's our stand-up paddleboard yoga class.
Now we're going to move on to Tabata Train. This is a class that we wanted to include as a group on the GroupX platform. Tabata training simply is something that works. You work for 20 seconds, you rest 10 seconds, and through that you complete 8 rounds, which brings a full Tabata to 4 minutes. Of course, you wouldn't just do that 4-minute workout. You would carry it on. You have your warm-up and your cool-down. But Tabata itself is considered a form of HIIT training. HIIT training is known as high-intensity interval training. And at the bottom, I found a quote that interval training is not new, but has gained popularity in recent years, which to me speaks that it is something that is trending. It's on the uprise, and I think when you follow your trends, you're going to have good success. So what do we expect from these Tabata classes? Tabata will fit in the GroupX platform, as I had mentioned, and the class size will range approximately from 1 to 30 students, depending on the size of the classroom or amount of equipment we have. The number of instructors needed, 2 to 3 is generally optimal. From reaching out to other schools and hearing what they had to say, usually you have one person instructing the movements and another additional instructor helping with your technique, form, or people that seem to be struggling, just giving them some re-encouraging statements to help them get through their workout. And class length does vary. You can do this anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour. The abundance of schools that we have reached out to do have different kinds of variations of this Tabata class to make sure, maybe somebody wants to get in for 30 minutes or get a full hour workout. It just kind of caters to what their demographic wants. As arguably one of the most cost-effective things we could have found, everything we need is already available in our facilities. Our budgeting would only kind of be tailored towards paying the instructors to that hourly or per class wage. So certified instructors do receive anywhere from $12.50 to $13, as opposed to uncertified, which is the $9.75. Right here, one of the classrooms that we would like to host this class would be in SRC 41, and within that closet, you can see the numbers here that we do have Bosey balls, platters, foam rollers, dumbbells, mats, and steps, and this is all equipment that was listed by those additional universities. So one of the schools that we reached out to was Western Kentucky University, and the information was provided by Andrew Jones, who's the current fitness coordinator there. They offered this class 2 times a week, but it was offered at 6:15 a.m. and at a lunchtime, which is more geared towards faculty and staff. At that time, it was done away with just because they didn't have quite the enrollment. They only had an average of 11 participants, and of course that number did vary. But he did manage to tell me that they will be bringing more cardio-based Tabata format back and kind of restructure it based on schedules. That way, they believe it will be a more successful class. Next, it was the University of Texas at Austin. Information was provided to me by Carrie Whitmarsh, who is their student program assistant for fitness and wellness. This is one of their more successful formats of training. They offer 4 times a week during the fall and spring schedules, and they do average about 25 to 30 members or patrons per class. And they do offer the 3 types. So as I had mentioned, you could vary your types of formats based on what the student needs are. So your Tabata interval training and advanced Tabata interval training are pretty similar. Your advanced, those are both hourly formats, and the advanced would be more preferred for those that have been participating in the Tabata format for a couple classes or an extended amount of time because it is a more difficult format. And then the T30 is a shortened, I guess you could say, Tabata format. That way, they do all the same movements, but they condense the class and make it more schedule appropriate. Lastly, I reached out to University of California, Riverside, and the information was provided by Michelle Sansone, who is the Assistant Director of Fitness and Wellness, and they offer 1 class, and they consider it their most fun and intriguing class that students just absolutely love. It's called Tabata Jam, and it features a Zumba concept with a Tabata and strength training addition to it. So I want to read just a little blip at the bottom. It said, what she had mentioned was, I wanted a subtle way to get students who only do cardio to get comfortable doing some strength training work so they feel confident in attend strength training classes. The reason I wanted to present that to you is because it could act as a liaison almost to your other classes. So let's say somebody is a more cardio-based person that likes to work out strictly with cardio equipment. This can introduce the whole strength training concept to them, so they may want to take a TRX class, a body school, other formats of group exercise that you guys do offer here.
Okay, so overall, as we mentioned, the research shows that students do like to attend classes that do have a structure and a progression. And because of this, we do believe that our stand-up paddleboard PE class is going to provide a fun and exciting twist to the already standard yoga exercise, and that the Tabata class will also offer another form of high-intensity training that students will want to attend. Thank you.
Yeah. Questions, please.